Here's a project I decided to do. I think I titled this one, or I will title this one, How to Catch a Thief. But more realistically, it's about sending radio waves using these devices right here. These are little radio transceivers, and they will send communication between this breadboard and this breadboard up to, well, in my experiments, about 8 kilometers, just over 8 kilometers. And that's going across a bunch of blueberry fields out in the farmland. But in the city, I could get maybe a kilometer between them with a bunch of low-rise buildings and trees and stuff in the way, cars, whatnot, and condo development. But anyhow, they are called long range, or LoRa for short, communications. And I'm running a 900 megahertz frequency on these. They come stock that way, 915 megahertz to be exact, in Canada and North America. But they do also have them set for, I guess, the 400 megahertz frequency. But anyhow, the way this works is I have a push button on top of this unit right here, this breadboard. And the idea is, if this was sitting, let's say, on a doorway to a shed, a trigger point, or maybe sitting underneath the wheel of a bicycle or a quad or a snowmobile or something, or a toolkit even, that could trigger a activity or a push button, which would send a signal to this device over here, which would be in your house maybe, or something like that. And as you can see, it's turned on, and an alarm, a little buzzer, and that could alert you that somebody has picked up your toolkit or whatever, that you had been sitting there for a year or two, I don't know. Yeah, there's a delay. I've programmed this to turn off the radio here so that when I do want to trigger an event such as that, the processor turns back on, turns on the radio, and sends the signal. And that takes the 5 seconds of delay that you noticed right there. But this setup right here, I've minimized power drain, and it can last for 6 years on the battery pack like this right here, which is a pair of AAA batteries. So just sitting quietly, waiting for 5-6 years, waiting for someone to pick up that toolkit that you had wanted to just check to see if someone's stealing it. You could do something like that. And this here, it could be run on probably a set of AAA or AA batteries. But this one here, actually, I did not set it up to be as thrifty with power. So you might want to plug this one into house wiring or whatever, house power, because it's going to continuously use about 16 milliamps of power every hour, whereas this one's using like 19 microamps based on the way I've designed it. What else can I tell you? In general, let me show you the schematic, and then I'll show you the programming so you can kind of think about it. But yeah, it's an interesting project, and these devices are about $19 a piece from Amazon. I'm not sure if you can buy them cheaper somewhere else, but these ones were just something I bought and wanted to test them out. Here's the schematic right here. Actually, let me turn it this way. Oops. Let me turn it this way. This is the schematic for the receiver. No, I'm sorry, that's the sender. And I've got a little MOSFET right here. That's a transistor that completely powers up or down that radio. So I can put the whole thing to sleep really well. A little button, which would be your trigger point, right there. And my little processor right there. I thought about maybe selling these. I'm not really sure. If somebody wanted to buy them off me versus people building them, I don't care whichever way it goes. But anyhow, this is the, let's see, that would be the receiver end on the breadboard, and it has the buzzer right there and the little red LED and a reset switch, so that sometimes you want to reset your activity if you had gone up to the shed and gone in there and set it off and you want to reset it with that button there. And there's that little long range radio right there. Yeah, so here I'll show you the software if you feel like you want to build this project. Let's see here. The software will be right inside here, probably. Yeah, oops. So this Each radio or each side has a different piece of software. So this one's a sending module, and I think it's pretty short code on the sending one. How many do I have here? The sender has, maybe it's the bigger one. Yeah, I think this is the longer code one. It has probably 100 and something pieces of code because I had to send what they call an AT string, which is all this stuff right here, over to the other module so it knows that I'm talking to it and not something else. These radios are pretty secure. They all have, there's one of 32,000 addresses on these radios. So the odds of someone finding your address on your channel, which there's like a dozen different channels, would be kind of rare. Anyhow, this is the receiver side, and it's much shorter. It's maybe 50 or 60 pieces of code, and that's it right there. It's a lot shorter. So if you guys feel like building something like this, you can always chat with me at the bottom of this video, and hopefully you found this interesting. Thank you very much.